Welcome to the Pitcher Podcast, where the conversation is free flow, everything is on the house, and all we ask for in return is for you not to give us 1-star reviews.
I'm Cody, a collegiate roller, a collegiate rower at Oxford.
And I'm Ian. And today we're going to be talking...
Definitely not as prestigious.
And today we're going to be talking about Murder Mysteries Part 3.
Tres.
We figured we might as well just do a trilogy.
Yeah,
we're also
why not?
running low on ideas this morning.
Yeah.
So
It's a very sleepy episode, so
Yeah.
bear with us. For today's Culture Corner, Cody decides to go for articles because he has a lot of articles he wants to go through. So, Cody, start us off.
So mine was just an article that I saw when I was at work, and it was on South China Morning Post, but I recently got access through my work, so I've been reading more South China Morning Post because it's like one of the only English press publications in Hong Kong. But anyways, the title is Exhibitions Uncover Hong Kong's Hidden History of Printmaking, from movable type to modern lithography.
Wow.
The title isn't that enticing, to be honest, but it was interesting. It had essentially talked about like the 18th and 19th century Hong Kong printmaking industry, and how people use that for like political expression, and then just like went through all of these like companies and like mom and pop shops that had like wooden print block making businesses, and like how if you wanted to get any materials or even like newspapers or anything with anything printed on it, like just how much work that would take, and how now it's so easy to just get like a fabric printer and stuff, but like hours and hours of like meticulous like carving and like artistry would go into these like blocks that would be like the only way that anything could be mass printed. So I just thought it was interesting.
That shit is hard. We did it in like high school.
Yeah.
It took me probably like 2 weeks to carve out a shitty fish.
Yeah. It's really hard.
And these paintings or these prints are super intricate and detailed.
No, for sure. It's like a proper like art form. But anyways, there's a couple exhibitions at the Hong Kong Heritage Museum this month.
Where's that?
That are the Heritage Museum.
I didn't know that was a thing.
It's in Kowloon. I can't remember. It's right across from the Space Museum.
Okay.
It's like in not TST, but somewhere around there. Anyways, that like it essentially asks like 20 questions about printmaking in Hong Kong, and then like answers those questions with like answers, but then also examples of different work. And it also brings in like more modern Hong Kong artists that are using print blocks and stuff. So I just thought it was super interesting.
Any ideas of what those questions might be?
It doesn't say any of them right now, but I think it's not. I think it's more just like logistical questions.
Oh, so like
stuff.
Essentially how printmaking. Okay.
But they don't list any of the questions here. But it shows like pictures of the actual like old shops and then like their materials, and then like more modern ones too. So anyways, I just thought it was super interesting.
Go up to this one. This one looks super cool.
Yeah.
It's called Clark's. Wait, no, it's called People I Don't Know Who Have the Same Name as Me 2012 by Clark.
Something. But yeah, a digital print project comprising multiple generation photocopies. Anyways, it's an interesting article. And I wish I had time to go to the Heritage Museum because the exhibition looks actually super interesting.
Yeah.
But
how much do you like art?
I'm getting into it more. Yeah. I'm definitely not a creative person. Like I can't produce anything artistic, but I really appreciate like reading about things.
Cody's being humble. He's really good at painting. We'll pop up a few paintings on the Instagram later.
Definitely not. But for me, it's all about like if I can read it and like if there's like an interesting explanation behind it. So yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I do like it. I do enjoy, checking art pieces out and trying to dissect what each mean. I probably talked about this. I'm more of a fan of like very intricate art that dates back like way back when. I'm not gonna say what period because I don't really know shit about art, but I can appreciate time and effort that's put into stuff.
Yeah.
So I do like art a lot. I feel like it's not entirely too accessible in Hong Kong because there's no culture that cultivates art. So we recently have a newly renovated Museum of Art in Hong Kong. Super nice. It's not the biggest, but it does the job for like what we need in Hong Kong. But I think that's like a stepping stone into what the future entails for the art scene in Hong Kong. And like I like just going to small little quaint things now. It's just like a nice weekend activity. Like yesterday I went to this little gallery that Juliet brought me, and it's essentially ancient Chinese paintings. Like the style is ancient Chinese paintings, but everything is filled with pop culture. So it'll be like this old scripture with like calligraphy flowers, but then the flower heads or the buds are the Mario chomper things with teeth. I'll show you later, but it's quirky, it's fun, but I can't capture why they price things like that. Like I don't understand the whole art of like pricing art. I feel like it's a whole science in its own right, but it's just
for sure.
It's hard for the comment, like the layman, to you know, like justify. It was like the style, because they would show their reference painting for what their piece is going to be about. So it's like a reference painting of like an old Chinese emperor, and then they'll put like Rick from Rick and Morty as the person's head, and it's like 69,000 Hong Kong dollars. I'm like, what? How?
Yeah,
I understand there's like time and effort, but like it doesn't make logistical sense. Like, what are the overheads? What are the margins? It doesn't really add up. Yeah. But I don't know.
The high art world is also like people treat things as like stocks or investments and stuff as well. Like I see so many Instagram ads about like
Money
you can
trafficking.
get in it. No, but like you can get into art investing. This Banksy had like 300 times return or something like that you can buy.
But you have to afford a Banksy to
of
begin
course,
with.
of course.
That's
But
freaking wild.
anyways, it like and I also think like Hong Kong does have a lot of art, but especially like historically, but it just hasn't been preserved very well. Like there haven't been a lot of good initiatives to preserve it. So there have been more and more like in recent years, but anyways, it's interesting because there's still a lot of like Hong Kong art that I don't really know about.
But yeah, very nice, very nice. For my article, it's kind of an article, but essentially I was on Wired, this blog online, and they had an article that was 6-word sci-fi stories.
What's
essentially Wired is like a tech blog by another tech blog by this big media group called Vox. I think it's part of Vox, is it?
I'm not sure.
Actually, I don't think it's part of Vox. It might be part of like Condé Nast or something. But it's just part of this humongous publication group. I'm not even gonna bother. No, I'm not gonna bother. Take a look.
Okay.
But then like they'll give you titles or subtitles for stories that you can write about, and then it's pretty cool how they can, you know, create this whole story and make you visualize this whole narrative in 6 words. And that reminded me like of this article that I once read, which was essentially 2-sentence horror stories.
Oh, I hate
I found these like, it's super cool and like ridiculously creative. But the one I found was like this compilation of 150 plus. So a lot of them kind of repeat the same theme and same approach. But I remember reading the first one and I was like, damn, that is pretty good.
Okay.
The top short story is, I began tucking him into bed and he tells me, Daddy, check for monsters under my bed. I look underneath for his amusement and see him, another him, under the bed, staring back at me, quivering and whispering, Daddy, there's someone on my bed.
Yeah, that's awful.
I
hate that.
That is crazy.
I hate that.
Oh my God. I don't know. It's crazy how much emotion can be invoked in 2 sentences and how much it can make you feel. Especially with the amount of discomfort Cody had. Cody was looking at his phone. He's like, I'm not listening to this. I'm not listening to this. And he scurries over and checks under his bed.
Yeah. With all of those, it's like, it's the feeling of like, you know that murder, like horror trope where it's like the call is coming from inside your house or something like that. Like all of that is,
oh my God. This was 1 sentence, essentially. There was a picture in my phone of me sleeping. I live alone.
Yeah.
That one is actually not that scary. Like, it could dead ass be like your friend.
Or just you holding it up like we did in that Instagram post with our feet.
And then, okay, some of these always try to go for like the dramatic approach where it's like a sentence and then 2 words. Like, she asked why I wasn't breathing so heavily. I wasn't. I'm like, oh, come on.
Wait, what does that mean?
She asked why I was breathing so heavily. I wasn't, so it was someone else breathing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see, it's some of them is just hard to dissect.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's interesting. This is essentially the TikTokization of like literature.
Right.
Dialing it down to just a couple of words. But
yeah.
Definitely worth, checking out.
Wait, so tell me more about this Wired article then.
So it's essentially the same concept, but they'll give certain subtitles like a story about a tech-centric religion, and then they're like, just do a 6-word story about it. And then someone was like, oh, in the beginning was the WWW, and then another one's I swiped right and found salvation.
Oh, okay. So those are like titles.
Yeah.
It could be for.
No, it's more so like imagine the 6 words summarizes the entire story.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Now do one.
Well, no. But there was
do one on the spot, a cappella.
There was one short like horror movie that I read like 8 years ago, and it still stuck with me. Essentially, it was this guy who checks into this like hotel, and it's like a super like scary hotel or something, and he keeps hearing like noises or like some creepy sounds from the room next to him. And so every night,
Wait, I completely zoned out. Was this a real story?
No. It was like a fan fiction horror movie or whatever. But so like most of the nights he like tries to knock on the door, but like there's no answer and stuff. But then there's this little like peephole, like this little keyhole and stuff that he looks through, and all he can see is like red kind of like in front of him, like it, so he figures like someone put like a card over it or something like that. So anyways, when he was checking out after like this whole week and like numerous like nights or whatever of him like trying to like knock on the door and look through their peephole and stuff, but just seeing red, he like talks to the front desk because he's checking out, and it's like essentially she says like, oh yeah, like a few years ago or whatever there was like a grisly murder of this like young girl in it. And so a lot of guests complain about like hearing like weird noises or like shaking and stuff in that room, and essentially like they think that the spirit of the girl is still in that room looking out the peephole. Yeah. And so he was like looking right into her eye like that whole time, like with red eyes and stuff. Nice. But anyways, that just creeped me out. I think I was like in like year 8 or 9 or something, like right in middle school reading that, and that like freaked me out for like the whole night. But yeah.
That's very, very cool. Have you ever had any haunted encounters in your life, or somewhat spooky encounters?
Somewhat spooky encounters? No, not really. Like, no. Most of it is just me. Like, I get scared very easily. So whenever I watched like a horror movie when I was like young, in like the beginning of middle school, like I wouldn't be able to like go into a dark room by myself.
Would you like? Okay, this is one thing I did after like horror movies when I was really young. Because we have like a shower curtain. Sometimes it was closed. I'd like punch it. I was like, what's behind here? Get out, get out! And I would punch it. I'm like, what am I doing?
Right. No, I would just open it.
Oh,
yeah.
I would literally punch it. But I would do that, or like I would shampoo my hair with my eyes open.
Right.
What else? I think that's about it. I don't think anything else I was trying to do.
Have you had any like haunted encounters?
No. I've heard of a lot.
Yeah.
Same. I remember you were in the same primary school as me when we went to Chung Chao, right?
I don't think I had joined at that point.
Oh, okay. So essentially for one of our year 5 camps, year 4. Well, you weren't here then. Third grade trips. We went to this island called Chung Chao, and we all stayed in these hostels. And I loved just like a lot of horror stories came out of it. Like people hearing like doors opening by itself. Like some rooms had really old TVs, and then they started turning on by themselves. And then I don't know if it's just like, kids playing pranks on each other, but that's pretty scary to be in that kind of environment when you're that young.
I also remember that primary school, like in year 5, so 4th grade, when I joined, there was this big like ghost hunter like revival and stuff. So what? Like yeah. At least it was in my class. I wasn't in the same
like
class
a TV
as you,
show.
But no, like kids saying that they could see ghosts and then wanting to hunt them and like talk to them and stuff. So like during the break times, and
ballsy.
Times,
what the hell?
I know. It was like essentially like it was like a really cloudy. I think it was like during the summer, like winter or something, or rainy season. So it was like rainy and cloudy and misty all the time. Yeah. And essentially everyone was like, oh my gosh, there's like a ghost of like a mom and her kid like on the 6th floor or something, because there's all like kind of some creepy staircases and stuff as well.
Dude, this reminds me of someone we know. It's like my friend and Michael's friend.
I don't know.
Also Chris's friend.
Just write the name down on the notes.
He loves this stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He would,
know who you're talking about.
like, at such a young age, he would bring us to the creepiest goddamn places. We'd be like, after school, oh, you want to check this abandoned hospital that's super spooky? Like, with a grin on his face. I'm like, oh, this guy might go and kill me there.
Yeah. But anyways, about this thing, like, and then we would all, like, run down and read, what was, like, it was like Goosebumps. Goosebumps. We're like, okay, we need to research about this spirit and how to get rid of them or whatever. So we'd read Goosebumps, and he was like, it wasn't completely like afraid of them, but it was more like weird and like interacting with them and stuff. And it was just like this weird phase that like half of my class went through for like in 4th grade. Yeah, it was like a big thing. I don't know what you were doing.
Probably
I was like football. With the losers though. So.
Hey guys, let's take a look at this.
I told everyone on the podcast how Ian used to bully me. In
my god, that's not true. Cody
you
loves.
Can see it. Like Ian was playing football during breaks, and then I was like
Cody
hunting
likes
ghosts.
to make himself the victim in this situation. He was just a new boy in a new school, and he couldn't handle that he wasn't playing football with the boys. Not that you wanted to, anyways.
No, I really didn't.
And it was so lame. We were all like, during recess or break, we were not allowed to have any like footballs or anything of that matter. So we would bring our own tennis balls, and it would be like kids playing football with a tennis ball.
Right.
But it is.
Wait, why weren't you allowed to play with them?
I guess they didn't want to take it out and for us to like kick it over the fence or whatever.
Oh, okay, makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of lame.
Okay.
But where were we at? The horror story things.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Why don't we move to the weekly catch up right now? How are we doing on time?
When I think of haunted stories, I think we should bring Juliet on here once, because she actually has some creepy ass stories, and she says it so nonchalantly, and I'm like, that is traumatizing. Yeah, if that happened to me.
Yeah. We were drinking one night at this like very nice bar, and she was telling me it. And
you get shivers down your spine.
No, I started crying, remember? I was tearing up. I was also like, I drank a bit that night as well, but I was like, and she wouldn't stop talking about it too, and so I just started rubbing my eyes.
Go on, just keep going.
But that was funny. And then a different night, she was telling my girlfriend about it together when we had like a double date or something, and my girlfriend was not a fan of it as well. But yeah.
It's crazy how like this kind of stuff happens in real life. Very, very spooky indeed. So, shall we move into our weekly catch-up?
Oh, the last thing I wanted to say is I was watching Bling Empire with my family last night, and no spoilers or whatever. This isn't even a spoiler, but there's this. Everyone is just outrageous on it. Like everyone is insane, and I think has like slight problems on it. But like if you grow up with that amount of wealth, you like a lot of people have problems. But there's this one girl who. Her mom passed away at 59, so like very young, right?
Yeah.
And so her mom was super close, and she just didn't feel like a sense of completion or closure, because she wasn't able to be there when her mom like suddenly passed and stuff. But she also is a big proponent of like reincarnation theory and stuff.
Okay,
and so,
where's this going?
Which I think is a common thing within Buddhism. They were talking about like they believe in often reincarnating to someone that. What are you doing?
Wait, no, nothing,
just searching up sports while I'm talking about this.
I'm not. I was searching reincarnation.
You searched UFC. Oh my god,
Cody, keep going.
But anyways, she essentially thought.
Cody, I'm literally putting my hands on the table.
Okay. She found her daughter. She had just given birth to a newborn boy, and she found her daughter one day.
The mother of baby G.
No, different one. There's so many. This one doesn't get shown a lot until like episode 3 or something. But she brought in a psychic, and essentially she had begun thinking that her mom's presence was still like in the house, not in a creepy way, just as like a very nice way. And she said that like the psychic said that like your kids will often interact with her and stuff, because kids like are more sensitive to that stuff. And so she found her daughter over the crib of her son, essentially saying like, Javon, who's the little boy, is Popo. Like his
What?
grandmother. Yeah. And it wasn't. They portrayed it like not in a creepy way at all. It was nice. Like it was like just a nice like harmonious type of thing. But then, so she had begun thinking that like maybe reincarnated, like her grandmother was reincarnated into like her son and stuff. But and I like how they didn't make it like, oh, that's so ridiculous, because it's like an actual Buddhist thing that they were talking about. But essentially they started talking about like, I don't want my mom to be like sucking on my boob when I'm like breastfeeding her and stuff. Or then like she brought over her friend who was very, very close with like her mom before she passed. And then they all like don't know how to change diapers and stuff because they never have to do that. And she's like, oh, do you want to help change, Javon? And she's like, no, I don't want to see your mom's dick. And then she calls the husband who's away for business, and she's like talking about him. And she's like, essentially the husband was like, he's kind of whack, but he also said some good things about like, this kid is going to grow up with so many issues if you treat
him like it's
your mom, right?
Yeah.
Because she's like, I don't want to breastfeed the kid. Like, we're going to have to buy like powder solution and stuff. There would just be so many things about like this kid growing up with issues.
Creating that distance.
Yeah.
And that weird power dynamic.
So she came to this conclusion that like it can be more of a presence and stuff.
Yeah.
Loving the kid for who he is, not because it's
quite
my mom.
deep.
But it was a very interesting episode.
Rate Bling Empire so far out of 10. You can give several subcategories.
Okay. In terms of just like pure entertainment, I'd say it's pretty good, like 7 or so, because it's something I like. That it's obviously like the people are so shallow and stuff, but it's one of those shows you can just watch with like
it's like a brainless
your family, and then like it's a tradition where me and my girlfriend will watch it with my family whenever we're over for dinner and stuff, and it's just something we can laugh about. So
that's nice.
In terms of being entertainment, it does its job, and I like it. So,
but I thought you were gonna lead with the but.
But it's just like not like a life-changing TV show or something.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like not something super amazing. But
very nice.
Anyway, should we jump into weekly catch-up right now?
Go on.
Me, I just talked for so long.
But I just talked for so long.
Okay, I'll make mine really short then. My week was good.
There was 7 days.
7 days are in a week, and 24 hours is in one day.
How many seconds?
How many seconds? I can't do that math right now, dude. You can't put me on the spot like that. But we got lunch twice, which was fun. Yeah. And then we had dinner.
What did we have for lunch?
What did we have? We had Japanese one day, and then
we did.
What did we have the other?
We
Mexican.
met up with Michael as well.
Yeah. We had Mexican. That was nice. Because we hadn't seen our friend Michael in a month and a week or something. We counted like that.
He was very busy though.
Yeah. And before that, it was 2 months that we hadn't seen him.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's wild.
But we had dinner as a group on Friday night too, and then we got lunch on Saturday. So it was just a very nice, like spending a lot of time with friends this week.
Trying to get as much, FaceTime with Cody before he's gone.
Before I'm gone. Yeah. The weather was also bad this week too, which was not fun.
Because everyone's crying that Cody's leaving. Cody and Bambi are leaving.
It's fine.
Oh shit!
It's fine.
Oh my god! I made a mistake.
It's fine. But it was a good week. What about you?
Gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna beat myself up over this.
What about you? It's fine. That's fine.
Well, my week is done. It's ruined.
The podcast is done, by the way. This is our last episode.
Don't say that. Don't say that. We're still gonna have one more episode with Cody as he's in Hong Kong next week. Still,
we're gonna keep the podcast going though.
Yeah,
to the best we can. Yeah,
I am. I don't know about you.
We are. It's just gonna be different, but we'll find a way. The audio quality won't be great because we'll probably do it through like Zoom recording.
Or you can just get a mic, but
I guess I definitely could get a mic, but there's still gonna be like a weird delay and stuff.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
But I think just to branch off TVs and movies.
Mm-hmm.
I watched a movie last night called Palm Springs. Have you heard of it? Mm-hmm. I think it's a Hulu exclusive, but it's with Andy Samberg.
Oh, okay.
And the woman from How I Met Your Mother.
I never watched it, actually.
I haven't watched it entirely, but I've watched a lot of bits and bobs of that show. But I think it's the mother within How I Met Your Mother. Because essentially, okay, spoiler alert for people who don't know, but I mean, come on, it's such an old show.
Yeah.
But essentially, in the end, it was a very scapegoat ending. Like, the whole show is about How I Met Your Mother, right? But the mother actually died.
Oh.
And then the person that like they're talking about in that entire story, like the main love interest, was the one that everyone was expecting. But then the ending was kind of whack.
Okay.
But essentially that actress, and it's this infinite time loop movie. You know, one of those movies where you die and you like repeat that day again.
Oh,
okay, Cody, I had the exact same thing. Like, Juliet put the trailer on and I was like, oh, okay, it looks fine. Let's try this out. It was so good.
Really?
I was like, how can you make an infinite time loop movie good? Like, it's such like once the concept's done, it's already too much. But they've done it really, really well. Okay. And I do love Andy Samberg.
So is it a comedy?
Kind of. Yeah.
Kind of like half comedy?
Yeah.
That's not. Okay.
There's like, it gets pretty, dramatic-ish kind of. But there's a lot of substance to the comedy itself.
Okay.
I feel like everything is like a rhetoric for something. And it's like a metaphor for something.
Okay.
But definitely check it out if you can. If you have Hulu or just illegally stream it. Yeah. I'm not advocating that you illegally stream it.
You're being arrested right now. The FBI Cody, at the door.
Cody, please.
I sold you out.
But however you can, go check it out. I definitely think it's worth a watch. It's an hour and 30 minutes.
Okay.
It's a pretty short movie, so.
Is it set in Palm Springs?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I would
super cool.
Okay. I'll have to check it out. I'm like making a list of movies once I move to the US that I'm going to kill time watching.
You're going to buy every streaming service possible. Disney Plus, Hulu, Paramount Plus, Netflix.
Is there Paramount Plus?
Paramount Plus.
Oh my gosh.
That's a thing now.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna pay for it and not stream it illegally. Wink, wink. But I was in Paramount Plus. It literally is. But I was vacationing in Palm Springs with my family when I was really young. And we got to this hotel, and the person was like showing us the room or whatever, and I was so excited. I was so young. I was like 6 or something, but I still remember this. There were 2 beds, and I was jumping on them in front of the hotel staff guy, and he's like, please do not jump on the beds. And my parents were like, Cody, get down. Like, stop jumping on the beds. And I was like, oh, sorry. And it was just like such a moment of shame that I still remember it in that moment. But
lame, bro. Anyways. Why not? You're like this light little kid. What's going to happen?
He said, like, we've had some kids split their heads open from falling and hitting the dresser or something like that.
Well, that's their fault for not lowering the bed.
Okay.
But
should we jump into our main topic now?
I haven't talked about what I did this week.
Oh yeah, no, you just talked about your.
You know what? I guess it's not significant.
No, okay, let's talk about it.
I shouldn't have said that.
Now you're just drawing blanks.
Right? Yeah, I know. I mean, it's just a slow ass week. The weather's been so bad; it's so hard to wake up. Each day feels like an absolute drag. But there has been one thing that I've been doing more recently. And that's working out. I've finally been squeezing out workouts in the morning. I wake up at like 6 something, head to the gym, probably get out 45 minutes of a workout before I have to head out to the office. And it was nice. It is nice to do it. But then once I get home, after work, after dinner, have my shower, I'm destroyed. Normally I would like to like hang out with the fam, maybe like chill out, play some board games, do something, watch something. Sometimes just too tired. So it's so hard to fit in that schedule, and especially since the gym that I go to opens slightly late. If it opened earlier, that would be so much more serene. Right. But can't complain, man. Beggars can't be choosers. Yeah. Need to get that exercise in. Boy is getting dad bod. Looking like a full daddy.
Oh dear. Do you shower right after you get home, or do you shower before bed? Like when in the evening do you shower?
It depends. Okay. If I was like at home all day, I tend to just shower whenever.
Okay.
But if I when I go home, I always have to shower. Okay. It's a prerequisite by my lovely mother because we have to be clean when we're in the house.
Right.
Wash the virus away.
Yeah. I can only shower like right before bed because I fall asleep like right after a shower.
No. Like, you can shower in the morning and, like, fall asleep right after.
No. It would just make me feel weird. It wouldn't, like, be a refreshing feeling at all.
Is it, like, a mentally ingrained routine that
I think so.
Now?
I think so. Wow. Like, I have to shower, and then I head to bed, like, 30 minutes after it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Once a day? Shower once a day?
Yeah.
Very nice. How do you shower? Go through each and every step.
It's a full body scrub every night.
As I work down my arms,
Oh, dear.
I scrub my fingernails.
Oh. As I work down my arms, I scrub my fingernails. Anyways, is that the end of your weekly catch up?
Yeah, I guess if you're gonna rush me, man.
Oh my God.
This is straight out like that movie Whiplash. Are you
Not quite
rushing?
my tempo.
Not quite my tempo.
Are you rushing or speeding?
Dragging.
Oh,
Rushing or dragging.
Oh, rushing or speeding
Yeah,
are the same
rushing
thing.
or speeding. Yeah. I don't know. I really don't know.
That is one of the best final movie scenes I've ever seen. Though.
Have you seen it was before it was a feature film? It was a short film.
Oh no, I haven't.
Yeah. It was a short film and it had J.K. Simmons and
J.K. Simmons.
a different main actor.
Oh, okay.
I forgot what his name was.
Okay.
I think he's also pretty famous. But yeah, just a fun fact.
Yeah, Miles Teller plays him so well though. It's like the.
Were you the one who
perfect
told me that
personality.
Miles Teller is a dickhead?
Yeah. Which it makes total sense because he
Yeah.
always plays like kind of an asshole, but apparently he's just like not nice on the set. But J.K. Simmons apparently is super nice on the set.
Not that I'm supposed to base it off his aesthetic, but now that he got like huge and shredded, I feel like he looks more of an asshole.
Oh, I didn't know he got huge.
Yeah, he got freaking
Really?
jacked. Jacked to the tits! For those people who don't know,
Miles
that's
Teller
a quote from The Big Short, so... Whoa, Cody.
Oh, the mustache.
Yeah, dude.
He has a mustache
Yeah.
now.
He is
dear.
absolutely humongous.
Oh dear. Okay.
But, yeah.
Anyways, yeah.
Big fan? Big fan? Are you a big fan?
Nothing but nice things to say about him.
I must say, though, he does, he's a decent actor. He's got quite a few good films as well, so...
You J.K. Simmons or Miles Teller?
Well,
Yeah.
J.K. Simmons, obviously.
Yeah,
And J.K. Simmons is an insane
Yeah.
actor. He's actually in Palm Springs.
Oh, interesting.
So
okay.
it's oh my god, even I was watching Crazy Rich Asians, like my parents and my sister were watching at home when I joined them like midway through. The guy, Colin, the best friend of
Nick,
Nick whatever. What's his last name?
Young.
Nick Young. Oh, it's
Rachel Chu,
Rachel
I think,
Chu.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. How much do I realize I do not like Rachel Chu? I don't know what your thoughts are on what's the actress?
Constance Wu.
Constance Wu.
Yeah.
But in that movie, until I was watching it yesterday, I didn't realize how much I disliked her acting within that movie. It's so like very over the top, very I don't know, it just makes me feel very awkward. She just seems very fake.
I think she's fine.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
It's just her mannerisms and behaviors in the movie where I'm like, come on, man, it's not all about yourself. Chill out.
Okay. Anyways,
I'm gonna get a lot of flack for that. Is there a lot of fresh off the boat fans out there?
No, I think most people didn't like Nick Young's acting because he's
Nick
not
Young
even an
has
actor.
no acting.
Yeah,
He can't act.
he's a like a travel host.
This
person.
guy's straight out of like Pearl's Dolce Vita. He has no expression in his face whatsoever.
Yeah.
I think being a good actor, like, you have to be very expressive with, like, you gotta be able to convey so many things with your face.
Yeah.
He conveys nothing, bro.
Yeah.
He could probably sell me a vacation in like Koh Samui, but not a movie.
Okay. I thought Constance Wu was fine, but
Michelle Yeoh is great though. I love Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah, of course.
But I feel like she's typecasted already as this like she always has to be like this strict, powerful character. She like there's no vulnerability to her ever in any of her characters.
You know she's in Guardians of the Galaxy.
What?
Yeah, in the end.
Oh, like as herself, or she's like animated.
No, she's like a person. It's like she's actually acting. She has like a whole like face of makeup and everything.
Oh,
she's another bounty hunter in it.
Oh, in the very end when
Yeah.
the bounty hunter. Oh my god, bounty hunters had like a coalition. Or some shit.
Yeah. She's like the head of one.
Yeah,
of
I
them.
remember that.
I was like, what? But yeah.
Welcome to the movie podcast, guys.
Anyways, this one. Wait, what are we doing for time? We're like 30 minutes in or so.
69 minutes in.
Oh dear.
We're
Okay.
34 minutes in.
We'll probably only be able to talk about this for like 10 minutes or so. But
It's fine.
we just wanted to make it a trilogy, at least for murder mysteries.
Yeah.
And I've been watching a Netflix show this week with my family called Murder Among the Mormons. It was released on Wednesday, and it was like the most anticipated
Netflix?
the most anticipated Netflix release of March. 2021.
Wow.
And it's already like caused like a lot of press and stuff. But essentially, you know Mormonism, right?
Okay, I know what it is. In the same time, I don't really know the specifics of what being a Mormon means. I know it's somewhat tied to Christianity, right? But how does it differentiate from Christianity in this sense?
Okay. So I might not have like all the answers and stuff, but
I do know one thing. It's a musical.
yeah,
Book of Mormon.
The Book of Mormon, which makes fun of it like a lot.
Apparently it's really good though.
Yeah, it is really good. It makes fun of like all religion, I think.
Okay.
But so Mormonism was founded in like 1850 or like the early 1800s by this guy called Joseph Smith, who says that he it's like all based off Christianity, but then he says that he was led to like a bunch of golden tablets by this angel.
Wait, what?
Telling him about like, this is how you have to live your life, and these are like another set of religious texts and stuff. So he became like the prophet, it was called.
Okay, and then the angel told him this, and then he ended up writing these religious texts out.
So he like all transcribed.
When was this again?
the early 1800s.
Okay,
I can't really remember,
interesting.
but it's new, like very new.
It's super new.
That was like around the time my university was founded. And
Yeah,
stuff.
what
So
the
it's
heck?
like very very recent. But essentially it's like a set of texts on like how to live like the good life now, essentially. So it's kind of based upon Christianity, but then also based upon these teachings of Joseph Smith, like the first prophet, I guess. So it's often like a lot like stricter than like Christianity or whatever.
Very conservative, right?
Yeah, tends to be.
Yeah.
I like not always from like a political stance, but more so from like a how you live your life stance. Like
no drinking.
yeah,
no swearing.
no drinking at all. Swearing, no. Like definitely no gambling and stuff. And then it's a very like community centric thing. So their family ties are like very, very close. Like communities and stuff. Like everyone looks out for each other and everyone knows each other, and like there's a high sense of trust within these communities. But then there's also like on the flip side of that, like a high sense of like commitment. Like kind of everyone has to have like responsibility in the church and stuff, and like you pretty much have to give 10% of your income to it.
So it's like a bit of a commune.
Kind of. Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
But now like they're all kind of headquartered. Like it's also called the LDS Church of the Latter-day. It's like Church of Jesus Christ
that's
and the
Latter-day
Saints
is the same as
Mormonism. Yeah.
Oh, you said headquarters. Can I guess where it's headquartered?
Yeah.
Ohio.
No. It's where I was born,
Oh.
which is
Wait, I thought you were born in Ohio.
No,
like
Utah.
Salt Lake. Oh, Utah.
Salt Lake City, Utah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say Salt Lake City, and then you cut me off. So.
It seemed like I was like you, and then you're like Utah.
United States of America, United Kingdom,
Uzbekistan, USSR. Which reminds me, there's a really good Jake and Amir where they chant USSR, USSR. But they're all headquartered there. So I was actually born in Utah, and we lived in like a primarily Mormon. I think we were the only non-Mormon family in our neighborhood and stuff. And they were all really nice. So my parents have a ton of Mormon friends from back in the day. But essentially, because it's such a recent thing, there's still a lot of like religious texts or texts about these founders that are like still in circulation. You know what I mean? They're like still like pieces of writing and stuff on paper.
Yeah.
And like you can find it at like a random bookstore or something like that.
Yeah.
And so it essentially goes through I don't want to spoil it, but I might spoil it.
Why not?
Okay. But essentially it goes through this guy who found a bunch of like all of these crazy texts on it. Like no one knew how he was finding all of these texts, and they were like had the potential to really like make a lot of people lose faith, because one of them says that like it's a diary entry of the scribe of Joseph Smith, the guy who says that he originally found the letters. Those golden tablets.
Yeah.
Instead of being
the golden tablets are like actual like tabs of like scripture already written on it. I thought it was just like gold pieces, and he was like, "Oh, I know what to write now."
Oh no.
Oh, it's like the commandments but in gold.
Pretty much, yeah. And so essentially, it's like he found this diary entry that says that Joseph Smith was led there by a talking white salamander instead of this angel. which
my
like
God.
turns it, instead of like angels and prophecies, from like cult magic and like being led there by lizards, right? Which
Yeah.
like really can like damage like a lot of people's faith in the church and stuff. So then and then he said he found these other set of texts that were like also very, very damaging and stuff. And the guy who buys them, essentially, and one of the guys who's helping finance it, die in a bomb explosion on the same day within the same hour.
Same day of what?
Same day in 1985. Like he was like negotiating this purchase of these new set of documents that were going to be like really like revealing and stuff to the
And
church.
then died.
And then both of them died in the same hour in a bomb explosion in Utah. And so everyone's like, the church is behind this. Like the church is trying to silence them and stuff. And then the guy who found the actual like discoverer of these texts also like gets car bombed like that, like 2 days after or something like that too. So everyone's like, the church is behind this. Like they're trying to like cover it up and stuff. And like these set of documents could be like so damaging to them. So they're trying to like get rid of it and stuff. And it's a very, very interesting documentary. And it has a lot of twists that I can reveal for you now if you want. But
Yeah,
or you can
go
also-
for it. Like, I feel like I want to watch it now, but I feel like I don't have the time to with the commitment. So
Yeah. It's not
spoil
that
me,
long.
silly.
It's only 3 episodes and they're each like 50
An hour?
minutes.
Yeah.
But anyways, the only guy who survives these bombings is Mark, the guy who like found
Wahlberg?
No.
I'm just... Marky
His
Mark.
name is Mark Hoffman. Miles Teller, actually.
Miles Teller.
But essentially, he survives miraculously. Like he had a huge hole in his head, and like half of his fingers were blown off and stuff.
Oh, so
but,
he
like,
was a victim of the car bombings as well.
Yeah. The
he
actual
survived.
discoverer. Yeah.
Shit.
And then it like everyone is like trying to figure out who would even like bomb like 3 people for these set of religious texts and stuff, and everyone's kind of pointing at the church, right? Who did it?
Okay, that's like, okay, I know you want to get rid of these people, but that's the most obvious thing. And why would you do that to like have this blazing arrow pointed at you?
Yeah, and also the Mormon Church is one of the wealthiest religious groups like ever. Like they have there was this article that was written in the Wall Street Journal last year about it, but they have this investment fund that's worth $100 billion.
I mean, there's a mandatory 10%.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of the men, there's even like quite a few Mormon people in Hong Kong. There's a church in Wan Chai, actually.
What?
Yeah. And there's a
Really?
few campuses in Hong Kong, but a lot of the men are very like high powered in like finance or law and things like that.
Because they're funded by the church.
No, they're just very like, they're frugal, so like they amass a ton of wealth like quite easily, and they don't
They're well
spend a lot.
connected with other Mormons as well.
Yeah, I guess, but they also have a very good like work ethic and stuff too. But anyways, all that to say, they have a lot of like wealthy members, so they're super wealthy, and it just shone a light upon this institution that like a lot of people didn't really know a ton about.
Yeah.
And so,
To be honest, Mormonism isn't one of the core religions that we're taught.
no, not at all.
So
Not at all.
like it's super under the radar, I think, to most people.
Yeah, definitely. And so anyways, they start to get eyewitness news from the place of the bombings, and said that there was a weird man lurking around the office building that morning carrying a package, and he had a green Letterman's jacket.
Yeah.
And then everyone was talking about, oh, this green Letterman's jacket, this green Letterman's jacket. And then people start to realize that we've seen Mark in a green Letterman's jacket a ton. He owns a green Letterman's jacket, and it's not a very common jacket, right? Mark, the guy who got bombed,
Yeah.
that survived. And so then people start to like investigate him and stuff, and like essentially,
Bro, the twist.
yeah, it's wild. It
Oh
is
my
wild.
God.
And everyone's like, this guy almost died. Like, how could you even say that he's part of this, right? Like, it was his work that got like blown up and stuff.
But that's the smartest thing to do. So no one would
Yeah.
like doubt you.
Yeah. And so I don't even know where I was going with it, but essentially they start to look into his documents too and the stuff that he finds, and the FBI certifies it as genuine. The Treasury Department certifies all of his stuff as genuine.
Like the documents that you found for.
Yeah, all these
Okay.
exploring things. And then there was this one investigator who was not willing to say that it was like he just kept wanting to dig into it. He spent 110 hours looking at this one document until he found that the ink on it was cracking in an unnatural way. like no, like everyone else was telling him to pull off this investigation and stuff, and like all these government places had certified all his stuff is correct.
It's bigger than the church. It's a government conspiracy.
No, it's not. That would be interesting if it was. But essentially, I still have 20 minutes left of it, so I haven't gotten to the end. But they start to like pull the rug back on Mark, and he was like this good Mormon boy or whatever, raised in like a very like strict Mormon household and stuff. But turns out he stopped believing in Mormonism at age like 14 or something, and he's always been obsessed with like being the one person who could find all these treasures that no one else could find. So
he's like the Nicolas Cage in National Treasure.
Kind of, yeah. Or he like wanted to view himself as that way. But there's this story about when he was a kid, his friends went into the wood playing treasure hunt, and no one found anything. But then at the end, Mark found a buried jar of coins, and the story is that like he found out the night before that they were going treasure hunting. So he went out there, dug, put a jar of coins there, and covered it up, and then like went to that place with his friends the next day and was the one who found the coins, right? So he was always like into forgeries and stuff. So it turns out that he like forged the majority of these things, and also like had started like amassing a ton of debt that he hid from everyone and stuff, and then like had this one huge finding that was like the first genuine print that was made in the US that was going to sell for like 1.3 million or something, and then things started to go wrong, and then he had to bomb people essentially. But I still have 20 minutes left.
But what if this is behind a conspiracy that Netflix is trying to reverse the reputation that has been shown against the Mormonist church?
Mormon church.
And then what if the U.S. Treasury and whatever declared that these documents are real because the U.S. is innately a Christian-run country,
right,
and they cannot bear the fact that a Mormon church has so much power within the country.
But it like rectifies the Mormon church's standing by the end of it. Like it says that all these crazy documents that discredit it are like fake.
Yeah, so Netflix is for the Mormons, but then the US is anti-Mormons.
Right. And Netflix is controlled by the Mormons.
Yeah. Bro, that's crazy.
All right, we can do a conspiracy episode next time.
Conspiracy corner.
But it was good. It was really, really good. And it was also fun because it was a connection because like both my parents lived in Utah for a while, and I was born there too, and we like know.
I don't know any Mormons
and stuff.
Do you personally? Was there any in your college?
No, because you had to be Christian to go to my college. But you see like Mormons. They're often the people that like ask you about.
The ones in
the
wheel
street.
carriages and big beards and
no, that's Amish. That's Amish. But if you ever see them, they're often like white people on the street corner, and like before COVID, and they're wearing like a tie and a little name tag, and they're like, "Oh, do you have a second to talk about?" Also Jehovah's Witness, but Mormons also, because every boy does a mission. It's like 2 years abroad of like missionary.
I've seen those people in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
On the MTR.
Yeah, so there's a ton of them. I played frisbee with them at a park once.
Were they wearing a name tag still?
Yeah.
Oh, so they would like play in their outfit?
Yeah. They always wear a tie and like a short sleeve button up.
Whoa.
But yeah.
Wait, so do you know what's the difference between that and a Jehovah's Witness then?
Jehovah's Witness is also, I think, like all kind of based around Christianity, but just different. I don't know much about Jehovah's Witness actually, but
so instead of John whatever, it's Jehovah whatever.
I don't know.
What's the guy from the Mormon?
Joseph Smith.
Joseph Smith.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's
and
Joseph.
And then Jehovah's Witness is Jehovah Smith.
No, it's definitely not. They're the same person.
Jehovah Smithsonian.
Smithsonian.
Okay, I think that's really where we should end the podcast then. Any last thoughts?
Anyways, I guess this wasn't really too much of a murder mystery because it got solved. But I
created the mystery,
right?
So leave it as
take it as you created something.
Take it as you will.
But I would highly recommend it.
Yeah.
It's
dude. Netflix is on a freaking ball with these documentaries.
Yeah,
back to back
for sure.
But they are all so heavy. I feel like I need something happy after that. It's just kind of draining.
Yeah. And the amount of research that they put in is like amazing. Like even getting film footage from that time is, I don't even know how.
But it's easy because they get funded by the Mormon Church. So
right, of course, they have carte blanche access to
exactly.
the archive.
But yeah, I think we'll end it there. Thank you for listening to another episode. This is our second last episode. in person.
In person. Not of the podcast, though.
Not of the podcast. But follow us on Instagram at PitcherPod. Rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. We're going to be giving shout outs to everyone who rates and reviews us on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe and check us out on YouTube, Spotify, or whatever you listen to, wherever you listen to podcasts. And we'll grab a picture with you guys next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.